Hello learners and welcome to this module on heritage accommodation. I am Dr. Saurabh Kumar Dikshit from Department of Tourism and Hotel Management, Northeastern University, Shillong. In this module, we will be offering you an insight about the concept of heritage hotels. We will be giving you an idea about the guidelines to be followed by the heritage hotels in India. In addition to that, I will also be giving you some idea about different hotel chains of heritage hotels. After the completion of this module, you will be able to understand the meaning of heritage accommodation. We will be familiarizing you with the historical development of heritage accommodation. You will be able to understand the details guidelines which are followed in the classification of the heritage hotels. You will also be learn about the heritage hotel chains and their different hotel properties. Let us now start our discussion with the introduction. Cultural heritage tourism is one of the fastest growing segments of tourism industry because of the rise of the volume of the tourists all around the globe. Nowadays, tourists are seeking different kind of adventure, cultural, historical, archaeological and interaction with the local people in different parts of the country. Cultural heritage and arts have long contributed to the appeal of the tourist destinations. Heritage accommodation is one such type of product which has the ability to draw tourists towards a destination. Heritage hotels have become an important cultural and historical venue for showcasing the distinct cultural heritage environment across the globe. Heritage hotels are one of the important categories widely used in terms of providing accommodations to the tourists. The development and growth of heritage hotel is important for various reasons, such as it has a positive economic and social impact. It establishes and reinforces the identity. It helps to preserve the cultural heritage of the region. With culture as an instrument, it facilitates harmony and understanding among people. It supports culture and helps to renew the tourism in the region. The palaces, Havelis, castles, forts, etc. have therefore become one of the most major tourist interests in India with an associated sense of nostalgia. Now I will be giving you some idea about the definition of heritage hotel. Heritage hotels are structures or locations that hold the historical or cultural significance of the place in which they are found. Maybe they were built centuries ago and are still standing, or maybe they were once a temple or castle converted into a friendly and amazing place for the guests for the vacations. Heritage is often used to discuss a cultural aspects or tradition that has been passed down through the generations. As per the dictionary meaning, the word heritage means any attribute or immaterial possession that is inherited from the ancestors. The heritage hotels are related with the originality of the traditions and ambience of the palaces and forts from the past times of rulers and kings of the country. Now we will be talking about the historical background of the heritage hotel. The concept of heritage hotel is old one. We can see many European countries have some historical backgrounds relating to these hotels. Different kind of hotel chains are also found in different part of the globe. French chain of hotels, Rallis and Sertiu, and Spanish hotel chain, Paradors, and the British hotel chain comprising of small luxury hotels are some examples of such heritage properties. These hotels cater to the tourists who have a special interest. These hotels are not meant for the stay or hospitality of large number of tourists. Rather, they are run on old Havelis and castles or the forts. These are the properties usually visited by the couples or small families. They are not meant for the big group of peoples or busloads of the visitors. In India, the concept of heritage hotel came into being after the decline of the monarchy, which has led to the conversion of the magnificent palaces into the hotels. At the time of India's independence in 1947, over 500 ruling princes combined their lands to join the erstwhile British territories and form the new democratic nation of India. However, things began to change after India got independence. The royalty, which was once allied closely to the British, were now linked, now not liked very much by the independent country, and the royalty was marginalized by the ruling government. The Jagidari system of India, which was once an earning for the royals, was abolished by the government in 1950. In 1970, the government abolished the title ruler, making them common citizens of India. Gradually, the forts, royal palaces within the outside the cities, hunting palaces, outhouses, water palaces, mountain retreats, and beach houses, etc., began to fall into disrepair due to their negligence. This change was not easy to take by the erstwhile rulers, and it seemed a matter of pride to hold on to these properties rather than think of doing something constructive within them. Maharaja Savai Man Singh II of Jaipur in year 1922 to 1949 was the pioneer who came up with the idea of converting this palace into a hotel, in spite of the strong resistance from their own family members. The Rambagh Palace was formally opened on 8 December 1957 by the Maharaja of Jaipur, who became the first active princely hotelier in India, setting a trend which has continued down in the present day. In 1969, the rooms of the palace were expanded, and in 1972, the palace came under the management of the Taj Group of Hotels. Soon Udaipur too followed the same path, and from 1961 to 1969, the Jagnivas Palace was transformed from crumbling palace to stunning lake palace, which was taken under the management of Taj Group of Hotel in 1971. The concept of heritage hotel took a new dimension in a few other states of India also. For example, in Kerala, the tradition of wooden houses of Kerala dismantled from different places, and it is drove near the backwaters in the area, and new resorts named Coconut Lagoon came into existence. In Goa, the same pattern was followed, and the traditional villas and houses of Portuguese officials and landlords were also being converted into the hotels. Now we'll be talking about the different hotel chains of India. Heritage hotel in India are those properties which were originally the forts, maisons, palaces, and erstwhile royal family members' residences. They were built by the royalty or their nobility in the form of their residence. These houses from centuries have also been known for their flawless royal hospitality. Today, some of the hotels are handled by the royal family. Otherwise, some others are being maintained by different hotel chains, who are become the caretaker of these properties in today's context. These heritage hotel chains in India maintain their strong properties. They maintain these royal properties in such a manner that their grandeur looks no less than what they were during their heydays. The regal feel has been kept intact through the traditional decor, the personalized hospitality, the artifacts, and some unforgettable experiences. Since these heritage hotels were the homes of royalty, the magnificence of the architecture in the same, with expensive courtyard, ornamented balconies, spacious rooms and suites, dedicated servants, opulent delicacies, etc. Warm, spotless hospitality has always been the highlight from the ages, and the heritage hotel chains of India followed the same unwritten traditions. We are now elaborating some of the hotel chains who are operating different hotel chains in different parts of the country. So first hotel chain is the Welcome Heritage chain. Then we'll be talking about the Neem-Rana hotel chain. Then we'll be talking about historical resort hotels. Then we'll be discussing the Palaces of India hotel chain. Then we'll be talking about the Samsod hotels. First of all, we'll be talking about the Welcome Heritage. It is a joint venture between ITC Limited and Jodhana Heritage Hotel Properties. It was established in year 1997. Welcome Heritage represents the finest tradition of heritage, hospitality and tourism in India with a unique portfolio of palaces, forts, havelis and resorts spread across 35 scenic and tranquil destinations. It endeavors to create a special balance between local tradition and modern day requirement, thus creating best-in-class authentic experience without losing the heritage ethos. Now we'll be talking about Nimrana hotels. Nimrana pioneered the concept of turning abandoned ruined into the experiential non-hotel hotels, where you can wake up in history and relive spaces where the royal and nobles once lived. They call themselves non-hotel hotel as none of these properties were originally meant to be hotel. Forts, palaces and grand mansions from 14th century onwards, which have been restored and revitalized into monument hotels, now offer you the labyrinthic spaces and the corridors, staircases, courtyards and quaint rooms refurbished with antique furniture and art to recreate the ambience that is much better than it was in the medieval times when the great characters from history lived without running water, electricity and air conditioning. The another hotel chain that we are going to discuss about, it is the Historic Resort Hotel. Historic Resort Hotel, headquartered in Udaipur, is India's only chain of heritage palace hotel and resort under the private ownership. The group offers regal experiences in island palaces, museums, galleries, car collections and much more. The Sivnivas Palace and Fateh Prakash Palace, which are classified as Grand Heritage Hotels, have won many awards. The most prestigious among them is the National Tourism Award for the Best Heritage Hotel in Heritage Grand category, received from Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Ganjel Palace, Ganjel, Bikaner has also bagged this award twice. Now we'll be talking about Palace of India Hotel Chain. Palaces of India Hotel Chain. It is a heritage hospitality company specialized in hotel projects, hotel management, hotel consultancy, hotel technology and hotel marketing services for the property all over India, which has been converted into heritage hotels, heritage homestays, heritage museums, heritage venues and other natural heritage tourism products. Ambika Nivas Palace of Mohli, Gujarat and Garden Palace of Balsainor, Gujarat, they are the important property of this hotel chain. Now we'll be talking about Samod Hotel Group. Samod Palace is the splendid example of regal Saracenic architecture. The palace combines the best of the Indian and Mughal styles. The 475 years old palace is a celebration of senses, underlined at all times of contemporary luxury and signature of services of Samod hotels. The magical hospitality and rare courtesy is also found in this property. Then we will be talking about another property of Samod Hotel, that is the Samod Haveli of Jaipur. It is an urban oasis in the historical walled city of Jaipur. Samod Haveli is a traditional Indian mansion set in a verdant garden with the apartment arranged around a series of intimate courtyards. Built 200 to 25 years ago as a residence of rulers of Samod, it is still occupied by their residents who have converted their home into a luxury hotel. Now we'll be talking about some important hotels of these hotel chains. So first of all, we'll be talking about the hotels of Welcome Heritage Group Hotel. In this category, the prominent hotels are like Umaid Bhawan Palace of Kota, Rajasthan, Nuro Sabha Palace Hotel of Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, Rajendra Vilas Palace of Mysore, Karnataka. These are some prominent hotels of Welcome Heritage Hotel chain. Now I'll be talking about the hotels of Nimrana Hotels Heritage Hotel chain. So in that, Nimrana Fort Palace of Nimrana, Rajasthan, Wallwood Garden Hotel of Kunnur, Tamil Nadu. Now we'll be talking about HRH Group of Hotels some hotels of this HRS group of hotels. So in that, Siv Nivas Palace Hotel of Udaipur, Fateh Prakash Palace Hotel of Udaipur, and Karni Bhavan Palace are some good example of this category, this chain of hotel. Another category is the Palace of India Hotel. So in that, Ambika Nivas Palace of Mohli, Rajasthan, and Garden Palace of Balsai, Gujarat. So these are some prominent hotels of this Palace of India group of hotels. Then some of the hotels has basically they have Samud Palace and Samud Haveli and Samud Bagh hotels, which are also representing the heritage properties of this group. Now we'll be talking about the guidelines to be followed for the classification of heritage hotels in India. Ministry of Tourism is a nodal agency for the formulation of national policies and programs and the coordination of activities of various central government agencies, state government and union territories and for private sector for the development and promotion of tourism in country. The ministry is headed by the Union Minister and Minister of State for Tourism Independent Charge. The Department of Tourism, Government of India classifies different hotels under a star category system in various categories from 1 star to 5 star deluxe category. A new classification standard of heritage hotels have been introduced to cover functioning of heritage hotels and its palaces. The department reclassifies these hotels after every 3 years to ensure that they maintain the requisite standards and services. The Government of India recognized heritage hotels as a separate category in January 1991 and categorized the heritage hotels in 3 broad categories. They are the Heritage, Heritage Classic and Heritage Grand. Now we'll be talking about some heritage hotel classification criteria. So for heritage hotels, the criteria are like this category will cover hotel in residences, havelis, haunting lodges, castles, forts and palaces which were built prior to 1950. The hotel should have minimum of 5 rooms and at least 10 beds should be there. General features and ambience should conform to the overall concept of heritage and architectural distinctiveness. The hotel should also offer the traditional cuisine of the area. Similarly, the Heritage Classic Hotel should have the hotels which are basically residences, havelis, haunting lodges, castles, forts and palaces built prior to 1935. The hotel should have a minimum of 15 rooms and at least 30 beds should be there. The general features and ambience should conform to the overall concept of heritage and architectural distinctiveness. The hotel should provide at least one of the under mentioned sporting facilities. The hotel should also offer the traditional cuisine but should have at least 4 to 5 items which have close approximation to the continental cuisine. Now we'll be talking about the requisite criteria for the Heritage Grand Hotel properties. This category will cover hotels in residences, havelis, haunting lodges, castles, forts, palaces built prior to 1935. The hotel should have minimum 15 rooms and at least 30 beds should be there. The general features and ambience should conform to the overall concept of heritage and distinct architectural distinctiveness. However, all the public and private areas should including rooms should have a superior appearance and decor. At least 50% of the rooms should be air conditioned except in hill stations where there should be heating arrangements in these rooms. The hotel should also provide at least 2 of the under mentioned sporting facilities. The hotel should also offer the traditional and continental cuisine to their residents. Now we'll be talking about the rooms and bath sizes which are usually recommended in these heritage hotels. So basically, if we are talking about room and bath sizes, there is no specific room size or bathroom size specified in this category of hotels. However, general ambience, comfort and imaginative relaxation would be considered while awarding the hotels under the classification of classic or grand hotels. The management of these hotels are usually managed by the own families of royal families, and sometimes these hotels are managed by some professionals also. The classification of these hotels will be given usually on the basis of the facilities which are usually offered there. The hotel would also be judged on the basis of the years of experience of the owner and staff who are managing the show in that hotel property. Services, as far as services are concerned in these properties, the heritage hotels should offer good quality cuisine, and food and beverage service should be good, of good standard. There should be qualified, trained, experienced and efficient and courteous staff in service with the clean uniform. They should be fluent to understand, they should be fluent to speak English and should be able to understand English. Housekeeping at these hotels should be of highest possible standard, and there should be a plentiful supply of linen, blanket, towels, etc. With the highest possible cleaning standards. Each guest room should be provided with vacuum jug, flask with bacteria-free drinking water. Arrangement of heating or cooling must be provided in the guest room as per the season. Places which have the telephone line must have at least one phone in the office with the call bell in each of the guest room. Arrangement for the medical assistance must be there in case of the need. The staff must be in keeping with the number of guest room in each property. These hotels must be run on the basis of professional staff, and most of the ambience and services are needed to be maintained as per the standard of the hotel. The hotel should also be environmental friendly. The garden and ground should be very well maintained. There should be an efficient system of the disposal of garbage and treatment of wastes and effluents. The hotel should present authentic and specifically choreographed local entertainment to the guest. They should also have, wherever possible, the arrangement of special services such as the wildlife viewing, water sports, horse, camel or elephant riding, or the safaris. Conservation is another important thing which is usually followed in the categorization of these hotels. So apart from the points which we have mentioned above, it is also felt that the architecture of the property to be considered in the category of heritage hotel should not be interfered with. Any extension, improvement or change must be keeping with the traditional lifestyles. The staff must be keeping with the number of guest rooms in each property. It was also stressed that these hotels must be run on a professional basis while losing none of their ambience and services. The heritage hotels must present a distinctive and additional lifestyle of the area and should be of very high quality in terms of services, ambience and cuisines, or not less than 4-star standard hotels. Now we'll be talking about the Indian Heritage Hotel Association. In short, it is called IHHA. Heritage hotels in the country have already created a niche for themselves in the world of tourism. These properties are operating in buildings like forts, castles, palaces, haunting lodges and traditional havelis for hot period buildings. It is mandatory for these buildings in material of their size to have been built prior to 1935. These properties must have their own distinctive architecture, ambience and history. The Indian Heritage Hotel Association came into being in 1990 as a result of heritage tourism movement, which was initiated to make heritage building productive and to maintain them properly. The next step was to recognition of the heritage classification by the Department of Tourism, Culture, Government of India on January 1st, 1990. IHHA was thus formed in 1990 and was registered in 2001. The main objects of the association was to promote heritage tourism by preserving and reviving the heritage hotels. This in turns also helps in reviving the rich cultural historical and archaeological heritage of India. Furthermore, it also gives a fillip to revive the traditional arts, crafts, music, folklore by projecting their skills through these heritage hotels. It is indeed a matter of satisfaction that tourism and hospitality industry have found a place in our economy as an effective instrument for generating employment, earning revenue, and foreign exchange. They also enhance cultural preservations, traditional crafts, fairs, festivals, and creative activities. These facilities in spreading the overall benefits of tourism. The major challenge of heritage sector are the old assets which require high cost of conservation and restoration, low room base which affects feasibility, high maintenance, etc. Dear learners, let us now sum up what we have learned during this session. We have started our discussion with the definition of heritage hotels. We have discussed about the historical development of heritage properties. Then we have talked about important heritage hotel chains which are dotted over India. After that, we have discussed about the guidelines which are followed in the classification of heritage hotels in India. Afterwards, we have discussed about the Indian Heritage Hotel Associations and its responsibilities. I hope by studying this module, the learner will be able to develop the understanding on the heritage accommodation and its different properties which are situated in different part of the country. Thank you very much.